guys, it's Bastian time. Welcome to Nintendo News, I'm your host Bastian. Let's get to that first story. So first up, Sonic Generations. We've got some word from the creators that the reason why Classic Sonic is mute is because Steve Urkel's actor, Jaleel White, now you probably don't remember the sitcom Family Matters, but I do, and Steve Urkel was possibly the most annoying character in TV history, but anyways, that actor, Jaleel White, is the person who portrayed Sonic in various animes and some games, and since they were not able to get him on board for whatever reason for Sonic Generations, they had to make Sonic mute, they felt, so that's an interesting solution to the problem. It's kind of unusual. I mean, I've seen other video games where if they couldn't get somebody to voice a character that had done so in the past, they just hire somebody new. So I'm not quite sure why, what the reasoning is there, but it's an interesting little bit of trivia. Some of the biggest gaming news from last week is Disney's announcement for their new multi-platform video game called Disney Infinity. And for those who haven't seen the trailer or not know anything about it, it's basically a blatant ripoff of the Skylanders series, wherein Disney provides you with this little portal thing, and then you purchase these figures, and you set the figures on the portal, and voila, you've got that character in the game, and a stage related to that character, and so on. It's basically Skylanders, but of course somebody was going to rip that idea off eventually, and it was Disney. Seems kind of interesting. It is multi-platform, so that's unusual. Not only is it going to be on the Wii U and the 3DS, but also they're making a version for the Wii, which is interesting because my understanding is basically everybody was done with the Wii as far as developing new big games go, so kind of interesting, but I don't know, it seems like it'd be an interesting idea. Activision, the people behind Skylanders, has been quoted as saying that they are very flattered by the Disney ripoff of their games, so, you know, it's par for the course, I guess. Our next story comes from Did You Know Gaming, and it's about Pokemon, and it's basically revealing the fact that Pokemon and their development is specifically related to the Chinese Zodiac. I don't personally know a whole lot about the Chinese Zodiac, so I can't go into details, but you can of course read this Did You Know Gaming image for yourself. Pretty interesting. Next up comes from one of my favorite television shows, The Colbert Report. Stephen Colbert is kind of, he plays a characterized version of himself in the show. It's like a news show, but anyways, in it he was talking about how there's been a lot of talk in the media lately about how people need to look at video games as a source for growing violence in America. He makes some interesting points. He sarcastically points out that yes, violent video games are only available in the United States, and that video games certainly inspire people to commit acts based on their content. For instance, back in the early 90s, people were certainly very interested in city planning and civic building because of SimCity. I found that pretty amusing. I mean, he makes a good point. Video games, of course, do not directly affect your actions. I play a lot of Zelda games. I don't go out smashing every pot or piece of pottery in sight, so... So that's it for this episode of Nintendo News. Tomorrow, of course, is the second Zelda News episode, and then 2 days from now, the second Nintendo News episode. So see you then, guys. Bye.